Imagine standing on a vast white plain where the wind cuts like steel and snow hides every path. Here, survival is not a choice. It is a test of knowledge, skill, and spirit. The Great Plains were harsh in winter. For the Sioux, life depended on generations of knowledge. Every action, from clothing to shelter, hunting to gathering, was carefully planned. Each snowfall reminded them that survival required wisdom and preparation. The Sioux studied the land and sky. They watched the movement of animals, the direction of the wind, and even subtle changes in the snow. This knowledge dictated where to set camps, reinforce teepees, and plan hunts. Camps were chosen with care. Valleys shielded families from strong winds, riverbanks provided water, and nearby woods supplied firewood. Teepees were arranged in clusters, creating safe, connected communities. Winter teepees were ingenious. Long poles formed the frame, layered with buffalo hides for insulation. Fire pits in the center provided warmth and cooking heat, while smoke escaped through the top. Every detail, from pole placement to hide thickness, was perfected over generations. Clothing was vital. Buffalo and deer hides were layered to trap warmth. Fur-lined moccasins and leggings protected feet and legs. Gloves and mittens, sewn from smaller hides, kept hands nimble in freezing conditions. Children wore hoods designed to shield their faces from the wind. Clothing was more than practical. It reflected culture. Beadwork and quill work decorated coats and leggings, honoring the animals and signaling identity. No part of a hunted animal was wasted. Hides, sinew, bones, and fat all served a purpose. Fire was life. Small, strategic fires provided warmth, cooked food, and dried meat. Buffalo dung, twigs, and bark were fuel. Smoke also helped preserve pemmican, a mix of dried meat, fat, and berries, essential for winter nutrition. Hunting required patience and skill. Sioux hunters tracked bison and other game across snow. They moved quietly, using bows, spears, and coordinated strategies. Each hunt was respectful. Nothing was wasted, and every part of the animal was used. Winter villages depended on teamwork. Elders guided the young in survival skills. Children carried firewood, helped maintain teepees, and learned hunting and tracking. Cooperation ensured that every family could endure the harsh winter together. Watching the Sioux thrive in the frozen plains teaches us the power of preparation, knowledge, and respect for nature. Subscribe to Native American Origins to explore more stories of survival and tradition. Imagine standing on endless snow-covered plains, the wind slicing like knives, and a blanket of white hiding every path. Survival here is not a choice. It's a test of knowledge, skill, and spirit. For the Sioux, every winter brought lessons older than memory itself. The Great Plains in winter were unforgiving. Ice and snow stretched for miles, the wind cutting across open land with relentless force. Yet, the Sioux thrived. Survival wasn't just about warmth or food. It demanded preparation, foresight, and respect for nature. Months before the first snowfall, families gathered resources: dried meat, firewood, and hides. Elders passed down precise instructions for navigating winter's challenges. Young children learned the importance of every task. One morning, little Kiona helped her mother stack firewood. learning the best branches for long-lasting heat. Her father showed her how to inspect animal tracks for signs of nearby deer. These lessons were woven into daily life, ensuring that every member of the family could contribute to the survival of the community. The Sioux studied the land like an open book. Snow patterns, animal tracks, and the sky's colors held vital information. A bison trail might lead to food. The sound of cracking ice warned of unstable river crossings. Observing nature was not optional. It was essential. Elders taught by example. One day, as Kiona and her brother followed the elders across a frozen creek, they learned to distinguish fresh wolf tracks from old, guiding hunters to safer paths. Observation was both survival skill and cultural teaching, blending practicality with tradition. Establishing a winter camp required strategy. Valleys shielded from wind, rivers provided water, and nearby forests offered firewood and materials for shelter. Teepees were arranged in clusters, creating connected communities where families could assist one another. Each camp reflected a balance of safety, accessibility, and communal harmony. Inside these camps, life was structured. Elders set routines, children gathered firewood, and adults prepared hides and pemmican. Even small errors, like misplacing a fire pit or leaving food exposed, could jeopardize survival. Cooperation was not just helpful, it was a necessity. Winter teepees were remarkable feats of engineering. Long lodgepole pine poles formed a conical frame, covered with multiple buffalo hides sewn with sinew. A central fire pit provided heat and a place to cook, while the smoke vented safely through the top flap. Each detail was precise. Pole angles, hide layers, and fire placement could determine comfort or frostbite. Kiona watched as her father carefully arranged the hides over the frame, explaining how the thickest pieces would face the wind. "This is how our ancestors survived," he said. "Every choice keeps us safe." Proper clothing was vital. The Sioux layered hides and furs to trap warmth. Buffalo robes, deer hides, and smaller furs insulated against the bitter cold. Fur-lined moccasins protected feet. Gloves and mittens kept hands nimble, and hoods shielded children's faces. Clothing carried cultural meaning too. Beadwork and quillwork decorated garments, honoring the animals and the spirits that guided the tribe. Every layer told a story of survival, respect, and heritage. Fire was life. Small, carefully tended fires provided warmth, cooked food, and dried meat for long-term storage. Fuel came from twigs, bark, and buffalo dung, each collected meticulously. Pemmican, a high-energy mix of dried meat, fat, and berries, relied on fire for preservation. Kiona's mother stirred a pot of simmering pemmican while explaining its importance. "This keeps us alive when the wind blows and snow piles high," she said. Fire was a teacher, protector, and lifeline. Winter hunting demanded skill and patience. Sioux hunters tracked bison, deer, and smaller game across snow. Coordinated strategies ensured success, with every part of the animal used: hides for clothing, sinew for tools, bones for instruments. One hunt took Kiona's father across icy plains. He whispered instructions to younger hunters, emphasizing respect. "Take only what you need. Honor the animal." Hunting was spiritual as well as practical, a connection between life, death, and sustenance. Winter camps relied on teamwork. Elders guided the young, teaching essential skills. Children carried firewood, helped prepare hides, and learned to track animals. Cooperation ensured survival and strengthened bonds. Even chores were teaching moments. While stacking hides, Kiona's brother learned to measure and sew, acquiring skills passed through generations. The community functioned like a living organism, each member essential. The Sioux's winter survival teaches the power of preparation, knowledge, and cooperation. If this story inspires you, subscribe to Native American Origins to uncover more traditions and wisdom of the First Peoples. The Sioux read the environment like a book. Animal behavior, wind shifts, and ice patterns guided every choice. Deer tracks signaled food. Bird flights warned of storms. This intimate understanding ensured the tribe could adapt and survive. Water was precious. Snow was melted or stored. Rivers were tapped carefully. Food, especially pemmican and dried meat, was preserved in insulated caches. Planning months ahead meant winter never brought hunger. Survival intertwined with spirituality. Rituals honored land, animals, and spirits. Elders taught prayers and ceremonies that linked practical actions, like building fires or preparing hides, to spiritual mindfulness, maintaining balance between humans and nature. Storytelling and communal work strengthened morale. Around fires, elders shared lessons, songs, and stories, passing knowledge to children. Even in freezing temperatures, social bonds ensured unity and cultural continuity. Nights were long and harsh outside, yet inside teepees, warmth persisted. Fires flickered, children slept safely, and adults kept watch. The wind howled, but life endured, sustained by knowledge and cooperation. The Sioux demonstrated that survival is a combination of skill, knowledge, and respect. Every task, from fire tending to hunting, was an exercise in community, foresight, and adaptation. Centuries of winter survival techniques preserved both life and culture. Teepees, clothing, fire methods, and rituals are more than practical. They are a testament to balance with nature, deliberate action, and respect for life. The Sioux legacy shows that survival is knowledge applied wisely, community nurtured faithfully, and respect for the land upheld. If their story moved you, subscribe to Native American Origins to explore more wisdom and traditions of the First Peoples of America.